Hey friends, coming to you from a coffee shop in Kalamazoo, and during the hustle and bustle of the holiday season, I just wanted to do something with you real quick. Hopefully this is a gift for you. So on the count of three, take a deep breath. We run around, we get crazy, and so infrequently do we just stop to take a breath. So ready, 1, 2, 3, deep breath in. Now, hopefully that was a gift for you. Hopefully that felt good for you. And my hope is that you understand through that you had control over that you can stop yourself at any time and take a deep breath. That it is an automatic system in our body that causes us to breathe, right? When you're sleeping, you're not in control of that. But you do have control whenever you want to slow down, take a deep breath, and just relax, right? So what I learned on this last trip with the Young Life kids is not everybody has as much control as I do over my breathing. We were on what I would say would be an unauthorized sledding trip. The sledding hill wasn't set up for our group. There wasn't enough base snow, but a couple of the leaders decided to bring sleds. So we ventured out back and we had our own little sledding party. So about halfway through that sledding party, I saw one of the kids struggling to make it up the hill. And I called out to him, "Hey Declan, just go down from there." You know, he had a broken leg last year, so I thought that's what he was struggling with. And so I said, "Hey man, if you're struggling, just go halfway. You don't have to make it all the way to the top." So he comes down and he kind of, almost like falls off of his sled and then crawls over the little hill. And I can tell he's kind of laboring in his breathing. So I go over to him, I start talking to him, and I can see panic in his eyes. And it dawns on me, this kid's having maybe an asthma attack. So he pulls out his little puffer, his inhaler, and he tries to take a hit of it. And I don't know if it was frozen or what was going on, but it was not releasing the medicine into his lungs. And that caused him to freak out even more. He could not catch his breath. He did not have the control in that space to slow down, take a deep breath, and take air into his lungs. So he was getting scared. And what happened next, I don't know would happen outside of something like Young Life, outside of an area where God has created these spaces for kids to come together who wouldn't normally hang together. And what happened next was a kid named Sam and a kid named Luke. They walk over to Declan. One's a basketball player from a different school. The other one goes to his school, but they don't hang in the same friend group. And these two, Sam and Luke, come to Declan's aid, and they sat with him in the snow, and they breathed with him. They said, "Deep breaths, Declan." And as tears came to Declan's eyes, because he was scared and I think he was a little embarrassed, he began to breathe deep with them. And I started asking him questions about the truck that he wants to get when he turns 16, just things to get his mind off of the fact that he couldn't breathe. But to watch these two 15-year-old boys come to another kid's aid and just breathe with him was extremely, extremely encouraging. And again, so I looked back and I said, these three probably would never sit at a school lunch table together. And I think that they're all okay with that. It's not that there's a hierarchy in their friend group. They don't have naturally the same friend group. So I don't think that Luke and Sam would be sitting with Declan at lunch. But to see these three sitting together in the snow and just breathing together really woke something within me to say, how long has it been since I've just sat with somebody else and breathed with them? To just sit in somebody's hard time and just breathe with them. In a high school setting, our friends who are getting ready to put in college applications and they're starting to freak out, what would it look like if we as leaders just sat with them and just breathed with them? For a donor, what would it look like to reach out to a friend and sit down with them over coffee without an ask for money and resources and just breathe? Or for our committee members who have lives outside of Young Life, no doubt, yet they choose to come and volunteer time to be part of Young Life, to be the brains behind the curtain, if you will. What would it look like to just call one of y'all up and just sit and just breathe with you in a busy life. So these three have really motivated me to look into my sphere of influence and say, where can I just breathe with people? And I think that the world would look a lot better if we would all just learn from Declan, from Luke, and from Sam, if we all just found somebody this week to just breathe with. So if nothing else, what I hope you hear from today is that if you're a volunteer, man, just keep chasing after kids. I know it's hard, it feels awkward, but if you find a space this week, find one of those kids that you know just needs a deep breath and just breathe with them. If you're a committee member, thank you so much for the time that you put in. We can't do this without you. We don't get these great ideas on our own. You know the conversations that happen behind the scenes. Thank you for that. And if you're a donor, if you donate your time, your resources, money that you could be using for other things, but you believe in what we're doing in Young Life, thank you. Just know that that helps us take deep breaths. And as we sprint into the next couple weeks before Christmas, I just hope that you have a chance to step back and just breathe. Thank you.